The 1911 pistol, a favorite pistol across the world since it was first invented back in the early 1890s. And today I'm going to be taking mine, field stripping it, I'm going to show you how, and then I'm going to do a little bit of cleaning, and then I'm going to show you how to put it back together. Let's get started. So this is my Rock Island Armory 1911 9mm. I've had it for a while. As you can tell, she has been beaten and abused, but it's time to give her a good cleaning. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to check to make sure that I have my magazine out, and I'm going to go ahead and check to make sure that there is no ammunition in the barrel and it's clear. Okay, so the very next thing that I want to go ahead and do is I'm going to put up a picture right here, and you're going to see all these gun parts. These parts right here are the basic field stripped parts of the 1911. Now, these parts are as labeled: slide, slide stop, barrel bushing, barrel, recoil spring guide, plug, recoil spring, and receiver. And this is how we take it apart whenever we're doing a basic field strip to either clean out the gun, maybe fix, I don't know, a jam, or whatever the case may be that you got to do, whatever reason that you see fit to do a field strip. Here's how we do it. First thing that we want to do is we want to remove our recoil spring, and the way we do that is this is our bushing right here. This is our barrel bushing, and what we want to do is, you see the recoil spring plug here. We want to push it down, and I'm going to try to do this in a way that you can see. We're going to push it down. You see it move right there. We're going to push it down, and then we're going to twist our bushing over to the left. So, and this can be a little tricky, so however you got to do it, but whatever you do, when you push this to the left, do not let go of that plunger or that spring will go flying. And if you don't believe me, then try it and find out for yourself. But anyway, so we're going to do it just like that. At this point, we can remove the plug, we can remove the recoil spring. We're going to set these off to the side. And the next thing that we want to do is go ahead and remove the bushing. Now, the bushing, as if you're looking at it right here, is all the way to the left. And we want to go ahead and twist that all the way as far as it can to the right. Notice when it's at the left, it's almost at a perfect 90 off to the side here. And when you turn it to the right, it's not quite at a 90, but that is where it stops. And at this point, you can pull the, well, sometimes, you can pull your bushing out. Might take a little work, and this is a part of the reason why we're cleaning it. So we're going to set that bushing off to the side. And next thing we want to do is we want to take our slide stop out of the gun. Now, if you look right here, you'll see that you have this notch here, and then you have this notch here. Okay, and then you of course have the notch back here, which is for your safety. But these two notches up here are the ones that we're talking about right now. This notch is for when you're firing and your gun is empty and you have your magazine in it. Your gun comes back, and this slide right here, or excuse me, I shouldn't say slide. This slide stop right here goes up, and this is what's catching your pistol slide here. Whenever you're firing and then your gun is now empty, this is what you're also pulling down after you reload to reload your gun. Okay, so, or I should say to action your gun. But so that's what that notch is. But this little notch right here is what we want to worry about. Okay, you want to line up. You have this whole piece right here, and then you have this little lip right here. I'm gonna try to hold it up nice and close to the screen. You have that little lip right there. You want to line up that notch with the top of that right there, of that little lip that's on top of your stop there. Sorry, trying not to cast a shadow. And then when you flip your gun over, you'll notice you have a little button right there. You're simply just going to push that button, and when you do, you'll see it rise up. Let me hold it like this so you can see a little bit better. See it rise up right there. And then from this point, you can go ahead and just pull your slide stop all the way out, set it off to the side. At this point, your gun will come apart just like that, nice and easy. This is our receiver, or our frame, whatever you want to call it. So then you have your barrel, your slide, and your recoil spring guide all right here. So the next thing you can do is go ahead and pull out your recoil spring guide, set it off to the side. Next thing we can do is go ahead and pull out our barrel. Just like that. And there you have the gun taken completely apart. Now, I'm going to be fast forwarding through these next few minutes while I do a little bit of cleaning on this gun. And for people curious as to what I'm using for the cleaning of this firearm, I am using CLP, the all-in-one by Break Free, all-in-one formula to service your firearm. Cleaner, lubricant, and preservatives. So as this is doing a little time lapse over the time that I'm cleaning this pistol, here's a few interesting facts about the 1911 pistol. The 1911s actually have a Filipino history, and the original design for the 1911 was tested by firing 6,000 rounds over 2 days without a single malfunction. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is come out with a clean rag and go ahead and wipe all the remaining oil off of it. So here's a few things that you may not have known about the 1911. The 1911 was formally adopted by the U.S. Navy and Marine Corps in 1913. The 1911 is the official firearm of Utah. The military required that the 1911 have both grip and manual safeties. Although I'm still not done cleaning my gun, there's still one more cleaning step that I have to do, but in order to do it, I need to put it all back together. So as I'm doing this, I'm going to be kind of talking you through it on what I do. So as you saw, I have my dirty rag here. I put it off to the side. All the excess oil is wiped off of it. And now what I'm going to do is take a clean rag with my CLP, and I'm just going to spray some on the rag. Not a lot, just enough to get a good little damp spot on the rag. Fold it over, push it into itself. And I'm going to go ahead and run this. This step may not necessarily be necessary, but it's something that I like to do. Then I'll take my barrel, put it back in, okay? And then I will be taking my recoil spring guide and going ahead, and I like to just go ahead and slide it into the compartment where it belongs. And then I can slide my bolt forward or my barrel forward if I want. You don't have to, that's just the way I do it. But then from here, the next thing I want to do is go ahead and get my bushing and put it on. Now remember, you need to remember that the bushing came off of the right hand side when we had it. Well, let me do it like this. The bushing came out when it was on the right hand side like this. So we'll push it into place just like that, and then slide it all the way over to the left back into the 90 position. Okay. On your recoil spring guide, we want to make sure that, see how it's horseshoed right there a little bit? We want to make sure that is down and against the barrel, like so. And like I said, I like to slide it all the way in, because the next thing I'm going to do is slide my barrel all the way forward, just like that. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take my receiver, and I'm going to slide the top slide with the barrel, the recoil spring, and the bushing already there. I'm just going to push the barrel back, and then at this point I can slide my slide back on the receiver. Put that back down, just like that right there. And remember you remember where we pulled the pin out? I say the pin. This is your slide stop. Remember where we pulled that out right here? We want to go ahead and push our slide to get it lined up. Now, let me take this apart real quick just to show you. What we're lining up here is on the bottom of the barrel, this little swivel piece right here. This pin goes through this hole and through this hole, just like that, right? So we want to make sure that this piece right here and this piece right here is lined up. And so this part might be a little tricky for some, but you'll get it. Just keep working it. So you'll just look through here, and once you get it lined up, might take a little finagling, just like that right there. I'm going to work my slide back because remember this little hole here on, I say this little hole, this little notch here has to be over that hole, just like that. And then we take our pin, get it lined up, get it pushed in, and then just, you'll hear it click into place. Just like that. Look on the back side and you'll notice that button there. It is all the way through. So that means our slide is in place. To test this, you can just pull your gun forward, or pull your slide forward, I should say. Work it backwards and work it forward. Had you missed the slide stop, then let me just show you what would happen. Let's say you missed the slide stop, okay? You went to go put it in, and I got it lined up there on accident. Okay, let's say you're like that, and you go to put your slide stop in. You put your slide stop in, but your barrel, if your slide stop is before it, it's just going to continue to come off. You've missed your slide stop. So we'll go ahead and take this back out. Put our barrel, or excuse me, put our slide back in, and we are going to work it back, get our barrel and the slide stop and the slide all lined up to where it needs to be. Clicked into place, test it, and it stopped. Perfect, just exactly how we want it. So now with our bushing still over here at 90 degrees, we want to make sure to take our recoil spring and we want to put it in down onto, or into the slot here where it goes, but we want to make sure not to put the spring upside down. So you have two ends of this spring, or at least in every 1911 I've ever cleaned, there's two different sides to the spring. You have this side, and I call this the open side, because if you look, that spring does not come to a close at all. Whereas compared to this side, you can see here where the spring comes back down and it touches itself, so it's closed. The open side is the side that you want to go down into the 1911 and down onto the recoil spring guide. So it'll be about like that right there. You'll take your plug, and once again, make sure to keep pressure on this plug, because as you push it down, it's spring loaded here. So if you move your finger, it's just going to shoot. So then we're just going to slide our bushing on over, click it into place just like that, and we're going to work it just to make sure everything is functioning as it should. For all the haters out there that's about to say, oh, you shouldn't dry fire your weapon or anything like that, they're made out of metal. It'll be okay. And then one last wipe down with our clean rag on our slide and on our receiver, on the back of the hammer, everywhere. We can just do one more good little wipe down, and then we're gonna let this puppy air dry. And that is the basic field strip for the 1911, and that's how you put it back together. And in most cases, that is an adequate way to clean your 1911, unless your gun is just in some dire need of some deep cleaning, or you just like to take it all apart. In which case, if you would like to see that, please let us know down in the comments below, as I think that might be a fun video to make. So guys, until next time, be sure to smash that bell notification and hit that subscribe button so that you'll be notified the next time we upload more content.